I lied about being pregnant as a joke. This entire stunt has been an advertisement for my Patreon.
Another day, another YouTuber somehow destroys their entire career. So there's a YouTuber named Caroline Constnar. I don't know how to say that. And she made a video announcement a couple days ago that she's actually pregnant. Now, after 2 weeks, she made another video saying, I lost the baby. Turns out she was never actually pregnant, and this was a weird manipulative tactic to get people to subscribe to her Patreon. Honestly, top 10 YouTube strategies. Any upcoming YouTubers, if you want to speed run ruining your career, this is a good one. You know, fake a miscarriage. Now, Caroline over here is known to make sort of intellectual satire type content, and that's how some of her fans will defend her. But it all goes down the drain when you actually lie to your viewers and convince them of something that isn't true, and then just promote your real Patreon with real money. So there's like no satire there. So here's the first video announcing the pregnancy.
I'm ovulating and I had like a plug of blood come out and I was like, oh my god, I'm pregnant. I feel like it's okay to not know what I'm doing in life because I'm young, I'm hot, I'm funny, I'll figure it out. Life will go on, and I will, by default, be something, if not dead. I'm good, guys. I'm actually so good. I want to have a kid, I just don't think I can have a fucking kid right now! And I really want a kid. I do want a fucking kid. And I'm not being stupid, I'm not being like, oh, well, you're young, you don't really know what it's like, you have so much life to live. You! I'm having a baby. Like, I'm having the baby. It's not like it's not like I'm getting rid of it. It's like I'm having the baby. I'm gonna have a baby.
Yeah, okay, so right off the bat, there's no actual way for people to tell if this is fake or not, if you are actually getting emotional about it and shit. It's such a weird thing to fake as well, and the whole thing is extremely tone deaf. I have a theory. I genuinely think she might have actually lost her mind, because no sane person will think that this is a good way to promote a Patreon. This is not gonna convince people to give you money, considering pregnancies or abortion or miscarriage or whatever can end up being pretty traumatic for some people. Just take a look at this next part. She talks about her actual like uterus issues, unless that's a lie too. I don't know how sociopathic this person is. Like, to what extent does the satire go where you're like making up complete lies about your body and everything? But if you talk about your health, obviously everyone is going to assume it's real. Like, if tomorrow I made a video saying, hey guys, I have cancer, and then 2 weeks later I'm like, just kidding, people are gonna not like me. All right, that's just lying.
Me. Remember how I had like shit going on with my uterus when I was 16? Like, I had surgeries just to get stuff removed, so like my fertility's always been kind of weird. I'm pregnant, and if there's any kind of like surgical intervention, I could really fuck up my fertility. Like, I might not be able to have a kid again. And then the other thing is that if I have this kid, it's very likely that I won't be able to have another one.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Okay, so this is just crazy, right? Am I going insane over here? So you're so pseudo-intellectual that you actually think that this is somehow good satire. You're just fucking lying. This isn't satire. I don't know what is wrong with you. This is literally you going, you know, all that traumatic shit that women go through, you know, the stuff that breaks marriages, traumatizes entire families, and, you know, causes a lot of divides and all of that, and stress on your body. Real, you know, genuine health issues and stuff. Yeah, I actually have all those issues, and yeah, life just really sucks for me. Here's me crying. Here's me telling you about my actual health issues here, but also, I expect you guys to know this is all just fake. This is all just bullshit. If your viewers believe this, it's because they care about you, not because they're stupid and parasocial to fall for a joke. Like, I joke a lot in my videos, I'm sarcastic a lot of the time, but if I'm talking about like a serious thing like health, people are just not gonna assume that I'm joking at all. Also, this bit goes like super far. She even gives a montage of her fake pregnancy pictures.
I'm currently in my second trimester. And let me tell you something, being pregnant is exactly what they say it is. It's
pretty awful. It's very overwhelming to be 20 and pregnant because I'm around other 20-year-olds that are like, I don't even know what I'm like doing right now. Like, I don't even know who I am. It's really interesting thinking about coming back to YouTube with an announcement like this because I've been gone for so long. I started this channel when I was 15. A lot of you have been following me since I was 15 years old, and not that much time has gone by. Thank you guys for staying here with me and being here with me and hopefully supporting me in the future. So stay tuned, guys.
Okay, I just gotta say, you know, I love satire. I like irony. I like jokes and all of that shit. I like dark humor and all of that. Whatever you know, however deep you go, I'm probably somewhat okay with it. But, you know, you should probably tell them it's a joke, and then the joke actually has to be funny. Because when you don't say it's a joke, then I feel like you're just lying. People saying like, oh, you need to just know her style. She does stuff like this all the time. No, she doesn't. Okay, I've looked at her videos. No, she doesn't. She makes like parody songs and stuff like that. None that would indicate that this would be satire. Like, she doesn't play a character all the time. Fact of the matter is, her own audience was fooled by this and is actually really mad at her. And of course they were fooled because she talks about her health and her fertility, which is like super personal stuff. Of course, people will believe you. They're not just gonna assume that you're randomly lying to them. Anyways, so that was the first video. The second video is just horrible. She basically reveals that it's all fake and it was a giant ploy to promote her Patreon. What a move.
Okay, guys, I lost a baby and I don't know exactly where I put it. It has to be around here somewhere. Okay, so some of you guys are probably wondering,
No, I am not pregnant. And I'm sure some of you are shocked. I'm sure some of you are not surprised at all. I'm sure some of you don't care. But some of you might be asking, when you're a content creator, the line between entertainment and reality is very blurred. Your audience will become very attached to an abstraction of yourself. And the odd thing is that this connection can become very personally meaningful to the viewers, whilst not being personally meaningful to the creator itself.
So she finally reveals the 1000 IQ plan, guys. This was all to teach you guys a lesson on parasocial relationships. It was actually my social experiment. What a great way to teach your audience over here. Just play with their emotions, completely lie to them, and then ask them for money. And this is all after a long YouTube break from uploading. This was basically the comeback video of you know, why she was taking a break, so people were more inclined to believe that as well. Here's my assessment of the situation. People were not believing you because they're parasocial and gullible. They're believing you because you provided literally all the evidence. You talked about all your health and all of this shit. You talked about your personal issues, all of that. And, you know, why would they believe that their favorite creator randomly made a video just to dupe them? They believe you because they trusted you, not in a parasocial way. They just watched you for a while, you know, got a sense of your like morality or whatever, and didn't think you would stoop this low. They're not parasocial. They're just believing in the goodness of the human race over here and believing that some random internet person is not going to lie to them completely, who they've, you know, been following for years. In general, if you navigate through life, you don't want to assume that everyone is lying to you and is out to get you, because that would just make you miserable and give you a negative outlook on life. So these people believing you does not make them bad, does not make them gullible, does not make them parasocial. It just means that you're a horrible person and you took advantage of their emotions or whatever. And I can't believe some people actually did sign up to our Patreon after all of this. Like, they're probably lobotomized. I don't know what is going on.
Your attention is monetarily valuable to me. And unless you have some narcissistic tendencies, which a lot of us do, the experience of having a parasocial relationship with your audience can be very uncomfortable. I'll give you an example. When I was 15 and I first started making content, I had a lot of people threaten to me every day. And if you could imagine, this was not fun. And the problem with this, beyond the obvious, is that there's no meaningful way to respond to this interaction. The offender has anonymity, and in some way, so do I. So I'm not treating them like a real person. They're not treating me like a real person. You're not real. and I'm not real, and none of this is real, and yet the effect that we have on each other is still very real.
Oh my god, my head actually hurts at this point. I see what she was going for. She's basically saying that, oh, we don't treat each other as humans, so, you know, we're you know, this whole thing is not really real, yet we still have impacts on other people's lives. I can't believe you said that. You understood all of that. But then you also said that, you know, the effect you have on people is real, meaning, you know, you just disappointed a shit ton of your viewer base over here who may have been excited for you, may have wanted to show support through your journey or whatever, maybe related to you somehow if they also, you know, got pregnant at a relatively young age or whatever. Maybe they were going through these fertility issues or whatever. You can't treat the internet as some sort of a playground when you have an established loyal fan base over here. You think like, oh, all of this is not real, so you can just do whatever you want. But there's real people on the other side of the screen. And just because you get ridiculous comments on the internet, that doesn't mean this whole thing is fake and this whole thing is worthless or whatever. Here's a little fun fact pretty much everybody should know. Once you get to a certain size of creator, you're going to get the most ridiculous comments ever, okay? Just because there's a sheer number of them. You get, in total, you get millions of comments, okay? Once you cross a certain, like, subscriber count, right? And if you post regular videos or whatever the heck, you're gonna get lots of comments. And, you know, I've gotten a shit ton of death threats, all of that. But I know, you know, it's the internet. That shit's gonna happen. Have I done anything to deserve it? Probably not. I hope not. But if you get big enough, it just kind of happens. It sucks, but who cares about that? I know it's an extreme minority, and I'm not gonna dupe my entire fan base because I got mad at a few people over here. Just because you got a bunch of bad comments when you were 15 years old, you somehow decide to take revenge on everyone else by lying to them about a pregnancy? I'm really struggling to understand what kind of logic this actually is. I feel like this person thinks they're so smart that they actually did something extremely dumb. Like, they got too much in their head. They're like, oh, this is not real. Oh, this whole relationship's not real. So I need to teach my audience that they're being too parasocial just because this one flippin' weirdo said some weird comment over here. It's like, that was obviously not majority of the comments you receive, okay? And if you say that, you're just lying, obviously. You can see majority of comments are relatively normal. I don't know about you guys. I'm not a fan of these I'm so smarter than everyone else type people. Like, I played you guys, you know? You were all part of my massive experiment here. You purposely waited 2 whole weeks before addressing the situation again because you wanted people to buy it, to believe it. You even took a long break. Maybe this was all part of your plan. Maybe you took the break so you could cook up this pregnancy video or whatever. I don't know. So weird, dude. In my opinion over here, the audience is not at fault at all. They are just a bunch of good people who believe that you weren't a liar. And so they, you know, fell for it or whatever. But obviously they were wrong and they shouldn't have trusted you in the first place. And still, I do not understand how this will ever convert to Patreon subscribers. Subscribe to my Patreon so I could lie to you on a routine basis. On next week's episode, I'm going to tell you guys my grandma has terminal cancer. And yeah, she actually needs $50,000 in donations. Yeah, and then once you send that money, 2 weeks later, I'm going to tell you, yep, whoopsie daisy, I was lying. Lol, 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 lol. It was part of my social experiment. You actually believed that my grandma had terminal cancer. You believed a stranger on the internet. You're so parasocial, guys. Aren't you guys so parasocial? Dude, this is the dumbest argument ever. Like, if I see something, you know, emotional happening on the internet or whatever, I don't even have to know you. I don't have to be a fan of you. I have empathy. I'm a human being, so I'll understand to, you know, look at things from the other person's perspective, right? You know, when I found out Ninja had cancer, right? Like, I'm not a fan of Ninja. I don't really care about him. But, you know, I was just like, oh, man, I felt kind of bad. I'm not parasocial with Ninja. And then when he actually got over it, I felt happy because I'm a human being and I can relate that, okay, you know, if you have something bad or, you know, everyone would hate to have cancer or whatever. You might have a relative with cancer and then they get over it and you're like, okay, this is good. Okay, you don't have to be parasocial. I don't know how else I can make my point here, man.
I lied about being pregnant as a joke. And the joke is not that pregnancy under strenuous circumstances is funny. The joke is not that the audience was gullible enough to believe that I was pregnant. The joke is you connected to something that wasn't real. And I have become something that isn't real.
No, the joke is that you lied to your audience for money. That is literally exactly what you did because you cooked up the story and then you promoted your Patreon. So that is exactly what it is. Of course, they connected with your story. They thought it was real. You give no indication. You're like a master manipulator. The amount of like images you put, the belly, the everything. Like I couldn't even fabricate this if I tried. They trusted you. It's not a parasocial thing. So I don't know. PewDiePie recently, right? He announced he had a child. And, you know, his audience connected with him for that. They were happy for him because, you know, they've been watching him for years. You know, he's come a long way from playing games in his room to actually being a responsible dad over here. And people wished him the best in being a father. Now, do you have to be parasocial for that? Or you can just think like, okay, the guy I used to watch is grown up and, you know, I'm happy for him. Can you not be happy for other people? This is literally just feeling emotions and having empathy, okay? It's not a crime to care about someone, especially if they have impacted your life in some way. If you were trying to make an example that, hey guys, I'm actually doing this and tricking you guys so that later on you'll realize that other influencers trick you and you shouldn't fall for it. That is the worst way. That is the absolute worst way of conveying your message over here.
We all come here to find this connection over and over again, and we don't really find it until now when you subscribe to my Patreon. Oh yeah, that's f***ing right. This entire stunt has been an advertisement for my Patreon.
When I first watched this, that statement nearly knocked me out, all right? You either have an extreme humiliation fetish or are really one of the stupidest humans on the planet. Holy shit. Guys, listen, I love YouTube. This is probably the only website where you'll see people actually do this type of shit. You know, people will lie on Twitter or whatever the hell, but, you know, cooking up a story to this extent, making dedicated videos on it, what a wonderful way to ruin your career, honestly. This is a 2-video speedrun right here. The only quicker way you could get more backlash is announcing that you touch kids. Also, somebody, for the love of God, explain to me how this converts into Patreon subscribers. What lunatic viewer is watching this situation, understanding that this person completely fucking lied to them about a crazy emotional situation, and then going to her Patreon and being like, you know what? I will give this woman money so that she can lie to me again and again and again. That is crazy. Now, I went to her Patreon and she actually does have paying subscribers. I don't know if this is from before. These are previous paying subscribers, like she had a Patreon before, or these are new people that are subscribing. How do you possibly subscribe after this? This is crazy.
I'm also announcing that I'm coming back to YouTube. Listen, I wanted to come back to YouTube and explain to everyone why I had been gone and what had happened to me in that time that made me want to come back. But some of you in my audience are pretty weird, and I don't blame any of you. You know, you can't help being weird, but I didn't think that it would be healthy for me to expose myself like that to all of you. And that's why I decided to keep a lot of my more sensitive information behind a paywall, where I would hope some of the audience would be more intentional with how they interact with me, because now it costs money to do so.
Oh my God, you're completely wrong about everything. People who pay money to you are way more parasocial. How do you not realize that? If someone is giving money to you, you think they're gonna be more or less parasocial than the guy casually watching you? They will be 10 times weirder than the other people. You know, like OnlyFans subscribers, for example, are some of the weirdest people on the fucking planet, okay? They get extremely parasocial and they're way more invested because, you know, they're paying money over there. And you have somehow done exactly what you didn't want to do, and you have gathered together your most parasocial viewers and put them into one little group, one little location very close to you with your Patreon now. So here's what her own fans are saying about the situation. Leaves for 2 years, comes back with a lie, asks for money. Wow, they are really happy here. No way she actually pulled the "it was just a social experiment, bro" card. This was a card you pull in 2012 after you rob a man's wallet or something in the hood and being like, "It was just a social experiment, bro," after getting your ass handed to you. All the single mothers who poured their hearts out under the first video have a really neat surprise in store. Yeah, that's another thing I pointed out, that, you know, people were resonating with the situation, you know, sharing their stories as well. It's like, you're not talking to AI bots over here. These are real people. It's so weird, man. It pisses me off that people would actually just like play with their viewers like this. Crazy, man. The joke is, I lied for money. Hilarious. Haha. Girl, I'm just existing. I'm here once upon a time because I laughed at a joke you made. Nothing so involved as parasocialness. Yeah, she's definitely displaying some features of narcissism here where she thinks she's so important that, you know, everybody's parasocial with her or something. Actually, it's a social experiment, guys. Now, give me money. It's okay because I'm self-aware. Dude, I hate this, man. It's like she wanted to, you know, announce this Patreon and get subscribers without looking cringe. Okay, creators are always finding a way to, you know, monetize their audience without looking cringe and without looking like they're begging for money. And this was the worst. You would be better if you say, I hate all my viewers, please give me money. That would get you more subscribers than whatever the you just pulled over here. You're lost on the difference between sympathy and empathy and parasocial relationships. If someone sees a hurt puppy online and feels something, are they parasocially attached or are they normal? No, they're freaking normal. Parasocial is completely different level of being like a obsessed dream stan, you know, following him on every single account, you know, skipping school to be there the second he goes live, you know, doxing his address, you know, trying to get in a relationship with. That is some fucking parasocial shit, all right? Always a good sign when you have to spend 4 minutes explaining the joke. Me, when I find out most YouTubers are just insufferable egomaniacs. Thanks for disappointing and confirming that. Yeah, guys, it seems like our industry is sort of plagued over here, all right? I'm the good one, all right? I'm a good one, I swear to God, guys. I'm not like the other girls, okay? Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. Only on YouTube will someone fake a miscarriage for Patreon subscribers and views, dude. Actual narcissist, actual loony. That's pretty much it. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.